Namaskar, namaskar. Sorry, guys, I see some jokes going on here. Just as I had some issues with my laptop, so I had to use my wife's laptop. Hope you are here. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Robert. Hit some like buttons. He might appear after the likes. Maybe I appeared after the likes. That's a good one. So I couldn't connect my camera today. So you gotta bear with the new setup here. How are you guys doing? How was your New Year Eve? How was your Christmas? Good to see you, Sarvesh. Good to see you, Robert. Hey, Kashish. Sorry, buddy. Just laptop issues, technical issues. Not a great way to start the new year, but I'm here. Definitely, I'll pay back in terms of answering your questions. So, what's going on? How is your life? Um, what kind of New Year resolutions have you guys taken? Did you get a vacation? I supposed to go on vacation, and it's a pretty adventurous trip, and I couldn't make it to the flight because I started. Probably you guys knew if you're in Canada, the Friday night and Saturday morning was the worst weather ever, and my flight was on Saturday morning 9:30, and I started from Windsor at 6 p.m. Friday, so which is like more than enough time for me to reach the airport. And we start on highway 401. We are good till Tilbury, and the complete 401 was blocked, so we have to take the D routes, all the county roads. And guess what, it took me literally like 20 hours to reach Toronto airport. I'm not kidding. And we were stopped multiple times. Yeah, we were like stuck, and the crane has to come and take our truck out. Thank God I didn't take my car. We went in a friend's truck. So it was a hell of an adventure. Very, very interesting adventure. And finally 80-90% of the flights were delayed because of the weather, and just our flight, probably one or two other flights, literally took off right at the sharp 9:30. So what can I do? And of course, I had a very, very good time here with my baby, and also a lot of friends over, a lot of drinking during the holidays. So that's how my holiday ended up. Thought something else, but happened something else. But I'm glad that we were not hurt. I know I have seen so many accidents happen, on 401, and just right in front of our eyes. At least I have seen 100 to 150 cars went into the ditches. Some of them even like flipped. So it was not that good. It was not that great weather. It was one of the worst one ever I have seen. So yeah, that was my adventure for New Year. Uh, but I'm glad I'm here back talking to you guys, um, and a lot of New Year resolutions. And of course, I know many of you have been waiting for the market update as well, because we are already done with December. I'll be sharing the market update as well, and also talking about what are some of the strategies, what I think the new year going to be. I'll share my thoughts, and also I'll recap. Here's one thing that I do every year with my wife. Um, we sit down and talk about what we have done last year. Just a recap, right? What was the how was the life, what kind of things we have done, in three main areas. One is our personal goals, like traveling goals, family goals, together what we wanted to do. And the other one is financial goals, what we wanted to get into, how much business we want to turn, how many properties we want to buy, that one. And the other one is personal development side. What how many books do I want to read, what books do I want to read, what topics do I want to get into. These are the three areas I always take time every year just recapping. And we all know that 2022 started off very strongly from a real estate market point of view. The market was super strong. January, February, March, April, we were like super busy. Me and my team, we were like selling right, left, and center. Um, and all of a sudden, who expected, right? Like the rates started to go crazy right in April. Um, in April, Windsor average home price was 723. And guess what? In December, just the December data just released yesterday, 473. It's freaking 250,000 drop in the average home price. So which you can expect. That means the sales has gone down. The number of sales has gone down. Of course, that means the business gone down. Now you have to rearrange. So that thing, the craziness happened on the other side of the business. But nonetheless, like still, I'm glad for 2022 because my baby came in. It's a blessing. And we had a goal last year. If you have seen my other videos, where me and Mamta said like we're going to travel this year at least 2 months, and which we did. Last year, December, January, and February, mid February, we went to Maldives, Dubai, India. Um, Pretty much like spent the whole 1.5 month like literally traveling and relaxing and enjoying. And from a business point of view, even though the market has shattered, and thanks to you all who are supporting me with this YouTube channel, social media, following me on Instagram, everyone who trusted me in the process with your investments, no matter what happened to the market, we were still able to help at least 150 plus clients. Still, from a revenue point of view, my last year has no difference from 21. We actually up in numbers. So I'm glad that that's a big thank you to all of you who trusted me and my team in the process. And I thought, this is a moment. Maybe let me introduce you to someone. If you're if you can guess who is gonna join me live now, here is my cute baby. Hi, hi everyone. Just say hi to everyone here. So I named her Ahilia, which is actually a queen from Maharashtra who made a huge impact in Indian history, who was one of the solid warrior, queen and philosopher, a lot of great things. So named after her, and also thanks to you guys because a lot of you have recommended a lot of names, and this name stood out strongly for me. So thank you for everyone who suggested the names. So this little one actually making my days every day with the cute expressions, with the cute mama is here. That's why she's just looking at mama. Say hi to everyone on social media, our good friends. There you go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So thank you guys. It's a different feeling. Many people have told me like fatherhood would be different. It's that at that moment, but now every day I have a reason to live. I have a reason to thrive personally, financially, everything. So yeah, that's my 2022. And of course, from a investment point of view, I felt like I haven't done that much. But when I recap, I got the biggest investment ever, the 27-unit building and my office building, and plus the first property out of excuse me, out of city this year. So that's for me. Again, I'm sharing all these things because if you're someone who has seen me where I came from, I haven't started with all these things, right? I literally started with almost nothing, actually minus 100,000 just not too long ago, just 5 years ago. And real estate is something that is absolutely a blessing that came into my life. um, you know not planned, just happened, and I went with the flow. I took lot of action, a lot of reading, a lot of networking, a lot of actions, and a lot of taking risk I took a lot of risks. Of course, a calculated risk, right? When you educate yourself, the calculated risk will come into picture. So with all those risks that I took paying off now, now I strongly feel, the freedom is there. So if I can do it, you can do it too. It's no rocket science, because I didn't came with a family background where there is money, absolutely none, or a family background where there is support, not at all. I mean, they supported me solidly, but not from a business point of view, right? Like, they supported me to come here, they supported me for my education, they borrowed money to send me here. I'm absolutely blessed for that. But no family background in the real estate, no family background in Canada, no relatives or family. So if I could do it, you guys all can do it. That's what I want to strongly emphasize. Of course, you got to put a lot of effort into it, but if you really want it, you can do it, right? That's what I want to share. And of course, the 2023. But by the way, before I continue on the 2023, and of course, I'll share my forecast and how the 2023 going to be, and what I think about the market. Just I will stop here. Let me know, how was your new year? How was your 2023, 2022? How was your last year? What have you done, in your life? And just good or bad, right? Like, like I said, 5 years ago, I was doing nothing. I was just working full time, that's it. I was not even watching lives like this. I was just watching Netflix movies, and of course I still do, but not as much as I was at that point. So what was your year look like? Let me know in the comments below, and let me quickly look at some comments here. Spend my winter break watching few of your old YouTube videos. Oh, wow, glad to hear, buddy. Hope you got some value out of it. Yeah, 401 was nuts. Crazy. Zigna, happy new year. Achieve new year resolution to achieve financial freedom. Fantastic. I love that. Love that. Kashish, thank you, buddy. Sukhjit, super cute. Thank you. Thank you. Blessed Ahilia, mom, and you. Thank you. Thank you. How much the real estate is gone in 2 years? So, I mean, the real estate I ran, let me just pull up the question so you all can see how much real estate is gone in last 2 years. Um, Technically, from a market point of view, now we are pretty much at 2 years ago, the prices from a price point of view. But most of the projects that I have done, I have forced the property values, and I have refinanced, and I already took the money out and invested into something else. So that's why I strongly believe burst strategies are still a great way to go, adding value, forcing the property values, because the market like this, it's always a cycle, right? So technically, in last 2 years, the market is, from a price point of view, it is where it is. But from my financial strength point of view, I have made a pretty solid amount. Congratulations. Thank you so much, buddy. Sound is echoing. Can you correct the sound system? Oh, thank you for bringing up to me. Let me just quickly change the settings here. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? Is it better? How is the sound now? Just give me a thumbs up, yes or no. Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you. I want to join your team sooner this year. Reach out to me on Instagram. Let me know where you are with your exams. I'm open to talk. I don't want to promise, but I'm open to talk. Came to Canada about 15 months ago as an international student, started a house service business, and it's going okay. I hope we keep on going. Man, kudos to you. I'm glad to hear that from an international student. I wish I started and got into the business when I was at that time. So keep it up. Just keep going, keep learning. Definitely, you will have a bright future. I'm taking my real estate license soon in Windsor. Praveen, congratulations, buddy. Keep in the loop. I'm looking to get into real estate full time. Maybe I should be your student for some time. DM me, we can talk. New listings are down over 5% comparative to last year. Average prices are down over 17% comparative to last year in Windsor Essex. That's right, Robert. That's exactly. If you guys wondering what Robert is talking about, let me quickly pull up here Windsor stats so you guys know what exactly we are talking. Let me just pull up the reports here so we all can learn from this presentation screen and Windsor stat reports share. Okay, here you go. So let me just pull up this full report. One second. Okay, this is better here. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. Hope you can. If you cannot, just give me a thumbs down. So December market data, right? Like this is like last from this year January till December. This is like activities. Let's start with the major important pieces. The first major important piece that I look after is the average price, the average home price. So if you look at this blue dark, I don't know, dark blue or green, this is 2021, and the yellow is 2022. So like I mentioned earlier, we started off the January average home price was $636 and 704,000 and 723. So the peak was March, and then that's where it started to drop until August, literally 520, which is like if you do your calculations, give or take like 28% drop. And then there was a 5% up, 4% up from 520 to 542, and then again a huge drop, 5%, another more than 5%. So from the peak, if you do the math, it's over 30%. I think any math person here who is very quick with math, if you can do the calculations just quickly, that would be great. I think it's around like 32 to 35, in between that, a drop of market value. And that's a crazy drop. If you look at the last year average home price, the last year the lowest was 5486. So that means the price has actually gone behind 2021. So we are now in 2020 prices. So whatever the inflation, whatever the prices growth happened in 2021 is already back to 2020. So here's the same graph, a little bit more readable, easy. So this blue tick is the 2021 prices, average home prices, and this one is for 2020. Sorry, 2022. Sorry, the blue tick. Okay, yeah. So the yellow one is this is the average home price year to date. Again, the year to date is little different from the actual average home price. So this is the average home price December, like specific. So it's very confusing, but I will put this link in the description just for a rough idea, for you to give you a rough idea. The market is down. The market is down by at least 30% plus compared from a market point of view, because the inventory has gone down. The listings actually increased, but December month even the listings went down and the sales went down. So if you look at this graph here, the sales December month down by 50%, literally. So that means last year in December there were 478 residential properties sold, but this year in December 230 sales. So literally the sales were cut to half. So that means all the realtors have suffered at least 50% in their commissions. So just to give you an idea there. And again, for another important one worth looking here that I always look for is this residential unit sold by price range. So if you guys seen last month, in November, I have shared the data like under 180,000, there were like two or three properties. Now this month there are like nine properties under 180. So there were like six properties between 180 to 200. So if you're someone looking for a very very standard home, that means there is something available for you. If you're looking for under 300, there is like almost more than 40 properties sold under 300,000, and go on. So you can do some digging here. I put the link in there, so that I would leave it to you guys. So definitely the market is from is in buyer's favor, and this is what my thought process as an investor. This is a great time, a great opportunity. Look for good opportunities, good deals. If you if you're patient enough and just keep on making offers, you will get good properties on contract, because there is the inventory is also slowly going up, um, and the sales are down. That means like the number of buyers are less in the market, because the fear of interest rates going up, and the fear that the market can go further even up. That was the fear that is going on. And of course the recession discussion, maybe some people would agree with me or disagree with me here. Like, some people say we are already in recession, because when there is a real estate drop, the price drops over 30%, that means we are technically in recession. But who knows, until we come out, we don't know. There is no exact answer, or yes or no answer on that one. But all I would say is, like, if you're an investor who are looking for long-term growth, definitely we are seeing a great discounted properties. So we don't know how long this is going to last. From years of data, the Canada market never have seen this crazy drops. Of course, at the same time, never have seen that crazy increase, but we have been steadily seeing the increase consistently for last, like 30, 40 years, because of the inflation, right? Like, the prices have been growing consistently, but in a shorter terms, right? Like 2008, there was a dip, and in 2019 as well, when the COVID 2019 or 2020, when the COVID initially first lockdown happened, there was a dip. So the investors, the smart investors, what they do, they get in when the dip happens. And of course, no one knows exactly the bottom, but it's more than average dip. So the current 30% is more than average dip. So if you start looking now, probably next 2 months, 3 months, you will be able to find a good opportunity. That's what I'm planning to do. Like 2023, I feel, especially from February, March to August, I feel there will be a great opportunities, because there are some insider talks going on. I'm hearing from mortgage agents that the mortgage rates might start going down by September or October, November, that time. I don't know how real it is, but there is some discussions that I've been hearing from people who are insiders. So we don't know. But again, this is not a financial advisor. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a random guy on YouTube, just sharing whose opinions. So consult your own professional, consult your financial advisor, consult your whoever, the authorized person, before you make your decisions. Do your own readings, do your own diggings before you make any decisions. Sriram, hello Aditya. 2022 was great for me. Was into a new role at BMO in lending department. Wow, good to hear that. I want to buy my first property in 2023. I spoke to Kuldeep. If you don't know who is Kuldeep, he's my cousin, who's a new agent in my team, who is already crushing it. December month, he's a new agent, only like 5 months now. In December was the slowest month. You have seen that 230 sales, right? Out of that 230 sales, 4 sales were my cousins. So again, I'm really proud of him. I don't have my PR yet. Any suggestions? So if you don't have your PR, do you know how long it's going to take for you to get PR? Because that's the first question you have to ask yourself. If you don't have PR, that's a big red flag, number one. Number two, how long you've been working full time. That's another thing, because if you guys seen this new ban rules, foreigners are banned to buy residential property in Canada for next 2 years. So if you've been working, if you're on work permit and you've been working for more than 3 years, then you're not banned. You are exempted. So make sure check that with a lawyer before you make decision on that, because that could cause. And if you're working with Kuldeep, probably I'll talk to him, see where your profile is, or if you know already how long you've been in Canada work permit and how long you've been working, let me know in the comments below. But make sure that one thing, because and the second thing is, even though if you've been working in Canada for last 3 years, and you still have to pay foreign buyer tax because you are not a permanent resident, not a Canadian citizen. So you might have to pay foreign buyer tax, which is additional 25%. So make sure that second thing, that's also very important. You need to know. And but if your PR is like right at the corner, you already got your all your papers approved, all your application has been reviewed, you're just waiting for that PR card, then you're good. You can start looking, but make sure you have a long enough closing, because uh, you need to have your PR before closing. So if you have long enough closing, then you should be fine. So make sure those things, make sure you take care of those things. Can we still get a house for 500K, which will give rental income based on 1% rule? Yeah, like you have just seen, the average home price dropped under 500. So that means average home prices, average home properties in Windsor, you can get them under 500,000. So the 1% rule, yes, there are properties that are close to 1% rule. Sometimes you might have to add some creativity to it in order to make it more than 1% rule, or even touch the 1% rule. You have to be a little creative. I have seen, like, for example, I have seen some people who buy a duplex, and they have additional rooms that they like, one unit they did a Airbnb, the other unit they did a long term. So that's a creative way. Or you have a single family home, and the basement has a good height and good size windows, or you have a great entrance, maybe add a basement ADU legal unit, so that can increase your income. So you got to look for those creative ways, in order to make it 1%. But the prices are definitely attractive comparative to where it was 1 year ago, 2 years ago, when the buyers were chasing the sellers with a check, and no buyer sellers were accepting the price. But now the sellers were requesting, bring an offer, bring an offer. And of course there are still bidding war going on in some properties, like for example duplexes, very short limit. I have seen, like, yesterday I was bidding on a duplex for a client. We offered like 500,000, that was listed for 450, and it still got six offers, got way more than what we offered, and form offer. They said they're going to announce the price today. It was last night, so I think sold around like mid 500s. So the bidding war is still happening in some properties, but most of the cases, especially if it's a single family home that needs some love, those are the properties that are sitting longer in the market. So probably go after them. You can add some creative ways to add value, then you can get close to 1% rule. So we are at 2021 prices, but in 2022 rates were at 0.25. Now we are in 2023, the rates were back at 4.25 plus 6 to 8 months lag to feel the effect of the rate. Again, very good point, Robert. So yes, exactly, because the rates has gone up so crazy, that's why the prices have came down. It's exact the force that the rates went up, the same force that prices came down. So again, I'm not someone who would claim that I'm an economist where I know what's exactly going to happen in the market. But what I would what I'm based on my research, I'm saying this period where the prices at the drop price will stay here, or will continue to drop for another 5% or 10%, or even, I don't know, 20%, who knows. But that will continue to happen until the interest rates keep going up. And once the interest rates pause, once they start reducing, probably there are buyers in the market, there were investors who has money, there are people who has money, who are wanted to get in, but they're not getting in because of the same point that you mentioned. So I don't know if I can really time the market perfectly, but all I know is, like, as of now, there is a great decrease. Now the price is back to 2020, 2021, beginning 2020 end. So that means there is like literally price to back to 1.5 year ago. So definitely a great drop. And there were, I have seen buyers who've been waiting all these years because they couldn't afford, or they didn't had enough down payment, or they were pushed out because there were so many bidding wars happened, the price has gone up. So now the price came down. The interest rate is not a fixed one, it's a variable, it can change, but the price will not change because you paid it already. So the rates can go down today, 1 year down the road, 2 years down the road, or 3 years down the road. So if you're afraid of your mortgage going up, maybe fix your mortgage payment with a fixed rate for next 2 years or 3 years. So your monthly payments will not change. And whatever happens, if the market goes down, let's say for next 6 months, if you're not selling, then you're not impacted, because what comes goes down has to go up, because the Canada government is pretty smart. Now they're bringing in another 1.5 million immigrants into the country. What's going to happen? Are they building the same amount of properties in Canada? Not really. That's a big thing that is going on, that debate going on. The government is not efficient enough to the debate. I'm not, this is not my opinion, that the debates are about, like, government is not efficient enough to increase the housing. Rather, they're doing this foreign buyer ban and different sort of things, because still they could not increase the amount of construction to keep up with the amount of new immigrants coming into the Canada. So that means there is still demand coming in. Again, this is from my average Joe thought process. I could be wrong. Challenge me. Love to hear the thoughts other side. Do you think we can still do burst strategy in today's market? So here's a good question, very good question. Sorry, I don't know what's your name. Think Rich. Uh, Personally, I would still focus on looking for a burr project. So you might not be able to perfectly get your money out right away, but when you're looking for a property that need cosmetic love, that means you're buying under market value. So whatever the market value currently, let's say you're looking at a property in an area where outdated property is selling at 350 and updated property is selling at 450, let's assume, right? So now you're buying the 350 property and you're spending your next 3 months or 6 months to improve it, and by then, let's say your property values haven't gone up, or instead it went down. So maybe you might not be able to pull your money out, but you're pretty much at the market value where when you bought it. And if you hold it enough, if this is where I would not borrow too much of liability, like don't go for the private loans or don't go for huge debts. Make sure you're buying a property within your means. Make sure you have funds from your pocket instead of this the private loans. Don't do that 100% loans in this market, because the chances, there is a risk of you are not able to refinance and pull your money out end of the time you're done with your renovations. But if you're in a financially better position, you can refinance once the market recoup, because we have seen time over time that in the real estate, maybe it will take 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, it will recover. We have seen that. Like, go look at the data for last 20, 30, 40 years. It always recovered, right? So if you're financially stable enough to recover, wait you to hold that property until you recover, then go for it. Do you think Ontario will follow British Columbia and allow for a 3 days cooling off period after a house sale where buyers and sellers can back out? I don't know, actually. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I mean, technically, you can do that with a conditional, but not seller cannot back out if you have a conditional offer accepted. But that would be interesting to see. I don't think they would be bringing up soon. I haven't seen anywhere that they would do that. Um, yeah, if anyone have any idea about this, let me know in the comments. Even I haven't come across. So, um, Ash, I mean, sorry, buddy, I missed your comment. So thank you for reminding me. How to join your team? I mean, Mrs. Aga, not done it with my real estate course. Please guide me. So first of all, like, if you want to join my team, you have to be in Windsor, number one, and number two, we have to talk. DM me on Instagram when you're like at your third course or fourth course. Of course, you have to be physically present in Windsor. That's one requirement for me. Um, and also, I don't want to promise say that I'll take everyone, because I have my own criteria. And of course, we might not be a right fit for each other, right? Like, we gotta talk, sit down, get to know each other. So that's, if if you like our business model, and you like, I like your attitude, then we can work together. By end of this year, I will apply. Oh wow, so you haven't applied for PR. Then you have to check how long you've been working full time, and do you have that 25% foreign buyer tax extra. Those two things are very important. In which line of work your typical tenants are in? Good question. In Windsor, I would not focus on specific line of work. I would focus on multiple things. I have properties that are like rented for immigrant students. That's one side of my rental properties, and the other side is more like families. The family rentals, personally, I don't just focus on the specific type, because Windsor nowadays have a lot of mixed, like people working from home or for different jobs. I would rather look at what's the credit history, how is their previous, what does their previous landlord say about them, how good are they paying the bills on a consistent basis, and how long they've been working, and how much are they making, how long they've been with that particular company. Those are some of the things that I look for. So you have started in 2022, so that means you have a long way to. As of now, you're not allowed to buy, unfortunately. From my knowledge, you're not allowed to buy. You're banned as of now, until you get your permanent residency. What is the best way to pull in money for a down payment other than savings? Joint ventures, finding joint venture partners, finding private money, asking for the seller to hold the mortgage, which is going to take back. Um, what else? Anyone else have any other ideas? Asking parents, asking brothers, sisters, which is joint venture. What are your views on housing market in Calgary and Edmonton? Saw your video that you bought a property in Calgary. So, Vinayak, basically, I have a mixed opinions about Calgary. Probably even Edmonton. Um, I would still prefer Calgary over Edmonton, because Calgary is the one that is at least growing. So one thing is, as I mentioned in my Calgary video, I'm just leveraging, because the Calgary is still, it's a betting, not a complete gamble, but the vacancy rate is pretty high in Calgary. Edmonton even higher. But there are some areas that are slowly coming up. It's still like newer communities. The challenge is like finding good people to trust. Um, and it's still under process, so it's like the Calgary is trying their best to bring more people to Calgary. That being said, just for a leverage purpose, I did that. If I have a choice, if I don't have too much money, or if I don't have enough money to leverage outside, I would still focus on within Ontario, where the weather is better, where there is population growth happening, where there is job growth happening. Those are the areas I would focus first. But once you want to leverage, where maybe Calgary might grow, because at one point it was one of the greatest city, right? It had a lot of the oil and gas industries who were crazy, because the oil and gas industry got hit for last few years. They were like suffering, but now they're slowly recovering because of this work from home options, just for the same reasons how Windsor started to grow. Except the accessibility from bigger city like Toronto, except that part. Calgary is also, like, because of the price, the people who priced out in in Toronto and Vancouver, they're the one looking out of the options, and who have work from home options, they're looking out of the city. And Calgary is attracting, some people, that some tax benefits. Some companies are also slowly starting off. IT companies are coming up. Do you deal with pre-construction condos or houses in Windsor? Yeah, I do. but not has that many as you see in GTA area. Don't just sit on the sideline, guys. Call a mortgage broker, view a home. Don't sit on the sidelines. Be ready to buy. They would pivot on the interest rates at any time this year. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point, Robert. That's exactly, what my thoughts too. Because 2020, I'm very confident by end of 2023 the market will recover. I'm again, not an advisor, thought, but I have based on my research, never a market has bottomed for more than 2 years. That's like, no, I would not say never. There were 50 years ago, I think in 2009 1987 or something, where there was like for more than 1.5 year recession. But that being said, like as of now, the Bank of Canada cannot keep on going increasing the rates. They should ease at some point. They should start thinking of reducing. And from what I'm hearing, they might start by end of this year, like last quarter of this year. So once they already signal that they will reduce, then the buyers will flock again. And because there is already, especially in Ontario, there is already a huge surge for the new immigrants coming in. So obviously, keep researching, keep analyzing deals. When you find a good deal, that's when you jump in. What are your thoughts on the housing market in Calgary? I think we touched on this. I don't think it is a crash. We should just go into normal level and healthy state. I mean, yeah, you could say that too, because after COVID there was a huge spike. Before that we were growing consistently like 10, 12, 13%. But after COVID, damn, it just took like 20, 22, 23, 24% appreciation, which is not the normal sign. Sai, I'm a Canadian citizen working in US. Do you have any idea how to get loans in using US salary to buy a home in Canada? Not that hard. Just talk to, if you want to get some contacts, DM me on Instagram. CIBC does that. I think RBC does that too. I think BMO might do as well. There are this big A lenders. Most of them do lend based on your US income. I have personally helped like at least 20 clients in last 2 years who are still working in US. They are living right now in Windsor because they have a story. They work from, they go once in a week to Detroit, and it's not too far. They can travel even after the work opens up, completely becomes not remote if they do make it. And if they are paying taxes, you should have paid taxes in Canada as well, like the difference, whatever, based on the NAFTA agreement. I cannot relocate to Windsor. However, I would like to consider Windsor for buying my first house. My question is, can I rent out my first property in Windsor doing 5% down, continue my stay and work in GTA? So that story itself doesn't sell. So if you say that to the underwriter, they're not going to approve your mortgage. They're not going to give you the loan. 5% down is strictly for first time home buyers. First time home buyers whose intention is to move into the property. If your intentions are not to move into the property, then they won't lend you. But if you move into it and you live there for a year, and personal situations has changed, you move out, you rent it, then you can, no one will say anything. Is wholesaling possible in today's market? Can we do it with little to no deposit? Mohammed, so again, wholesaling, you can do multiple things, right? Like one, if you can find a great opportunity, for example, if you find a property, the market value is 400,000, and you bought it for, you have it on contract for 300,000. Of course, there are investors who would love to take that for 320, 330, 340, because it's still 10, 15, 20% lower than the market value. Yes, but the question is, how difficult is it to find those motivated sellers to sell for the price? Because right now already the market is dropping every month, so the prices um, are not, there are motivated sellers out there. You just need to find them, and you just need to find the buyers. Of course, the buyers also gone down compared to last time, so you just need to work harder than before. Just like salespeople, right? Like just as agents before, there were a lot of buyers, lot of positive emotion in the market. So buying is not a challenge. Like for making offers, clean offers, no issues for the buyers. But finding the property was a challenge because the inventory was freaking low, very, very low. So in that market, the challenge was finding the properties. And in this market, there were properties, but the buyers were not willing to make those offers because they were afraid of the prices going further down. So no matter what, in whichever the market, there is work. There is a lot more work to do. The more, especially when there is fear, you're going to do more work. Can we expect the market to recover where we have lower interest rates and buyers? Because rentals are still all time high, eating the savings people can make towards their down payment. So I don't know if the rents will go down because rents is more like like a commodity. Just like with your clothes, your shoes, your dresses and everything that gone up over the years because of the inflation, the rents is the same way. I don't know if the rents will go down, but from a price point of view, from the interest rate point of view, they have to come down because the government cannot sustain with this interest rates for a long run, because if it continue to increase, there will be more bankruptcies, more businesses will go run out because now they cannot feed their employees because the interest rate, the holding cost is a lot more, the running a business cost is a lot more. So the interest rates not only just impacting on the home buyers or sellers, it's impacting on the businesses as well, right? So they cannot continue to increase that. Like they're scaring people right now, they're trying to, and they did, actually they did very well, they did what they wanted to do, but they're not at the point to decrease the inflation rate as much as they wanted. But like someone was mentioning, I think Robert was saying, generally the effect will take 6 to 8 12 months. So they have started 6 months ago, so probably we will start seeing the impact now for next to 6 months to 12 months. So that means by mid of this year or end of this year, we'll have a better idea on where the market is. But in a long run, it should recover. We always have seen, like over and over and over and over in the history, real estate always recovered. The interest rates always gone up, came down, gone up, came down. So that's a cycle. This is where my solid warning to anyone who's trying to over leverage. This is the time, never do over leverage. Never go for shiny objects. Never go for those, expensive stuff. Try to have as many savings as possible. Try to have as much saving as possible. Try to focus on making more money. Make as much as money as possible. Try to, if you have to get a second job, or if you have to get a sales job, if you have to do whatever online business, or try to increase your income so that you don't have to suffer if the rates increase again. And if you have cash in hand, this is the markets where, always, you might heard this all the time, they really invest real, like millionaires were made during the downturn, because whoever has cash, whoever has enough savings, whoever has the power to hold on to a property during this crash time, they come out because the crash will over someday, months down the road, or a year down the road, 2 years down the road. So when it recovers, who will shine? Those who hold on to it. Who will lose? Those who sold it because of the fear. So yeah. how pop, how population only support RE? We need average increase, wage increase, and high paying companies too. With the immigration, government is suppressing wage increases. So again, this is where another huge debate going on is, more and more people who are homeowners are reducing over the period. If you see in a bigger cities like Toronto, Vancouver, New York, or Shanghai, Hyderabad, all these bigger cities, the home ownership is reducing, coming down and down. So the more renters are increasing because of the same issue. Because if you look at like 30 years before, 40 years before, the, you can easily buy a property with, if you have a decent salary, because this salary would have got you, probably your home price is twice of your salary, and then it started becoming thrice, and it started to become, 4 times, 5 times. Now in bigger cities they are even 10 times, they cannot afford. So I don't think they can fight that easily. That will continue to grow. This is where we have to be very smart enough, choosing the careers to increase our income, choosing the careers, where you can focus on making more money. Can I buy second property at 5 or 10% down if I put 20% on my first one? So the 5% and 10% concept comes into picture only when your intention to buy the property to move into it. Even if you buy the first property with 5% down, you moved into it, and now your family grown, you have another kid, you want another house, you can ask for another 5% down. The lenders, most likely, if you qualify, you will show this property as a rental income, and you will go into that property. Yes, it's doable. And especially if you have 20% down, it's doable, but your intentions has to be that you're moving into that property. Is there any way for foreign buyers engage in real estate investing like 7 or 8 million? Yeah, of course. So the foreign buyer ban is on residential properties. So which properties are residential? Any property like has maximum 3 legal units of residential units or under, or if it's a condominium 1 unit, or a semi-detached, or a townhome, or a row home, those are banned. But nowhere it said you cannot buy a multifamily building, nowhere it said you cannot buy a commercial building. You can do those, you can invest into those. Finding good tenants are part of the journey. You're going to have some great ones, but unfortunately, you will have to squatter non-payers, and those damage the property. Yes, that's a real reality. That's a reality, right? Like you have to learn. And there are a lot of great blogs on biggerpockets.com. If you go on there, there's a lot of tips on how to screen your tenant, what to look for when you're screening a tenant. If you follow some basic rules, most likely you can avoid some of the challenges. And of course, like Robert mentioned, I went through that. I had to evict one of my tenant, and thank God after that I learned I never leave decision of choosing the tenant to my property manager. This is one thing I learned in my career. I would never leave decision to the property manager. They will bring me the applications, I'll make the final decision. And I need the credit score, I need their background check, I need I need the previous landlord contacts, I personally call. And I need their job history, I call the company that they work for, make sure how long they've been working there. So if you do all those, follow certain base ground rules, 80% you can avoid. Is couples both with 700 plus credit score is good to approve for a 400k house? Pravin, credit score is not alone will allow you to make that decision. Your income will allow you. Credit score is a necessity, but your income will decide your qualification amount. So how much are you making? A general rule of thumb, again, depends on how much debts you have. Let's assume that you don't have any debts, no car payments, no credit card balances, you're making 100,000. Then a general rule of thumb, 100,000 into 400,000, you will qualify. So if both of you together making 100,000, you don't have debts, then most likely you will qualify for 400,000. But this is where I would suggest, find a mortgage agent. If you're looking to invest in Windsor, Ontario, DM me on Instagram or give us a call on my office number. My assistant will schedule a call with me or my agent. This, put you in touch with the professional mortgage agents whom I trust, and they give you the pre-approvals. Or whichever the city you're looking to, get a good realtor, ask them for contacts for a good mortgage brokers, and get a pre-approval. Or whichever the bank you're working with, just call them up, ask them, hey, how much do I qualify? This is my income, this is my expenses. I'm planning to attend your event in February with my wife. I would be buying 2 tickets or one. Of course, buy 2 tickets, bro. It's a good cause. It's for a good cause. It's not a huge ticket. It's probably like $49 or $50, and out of that you will get some good food, and all the rest of the money goes for the charity. because now I have a baby girl, I started to think of more, supporting girls. So there is a awesome organization in India, though they help the girls, especially only girls who are not capable of getting into a good education, because I have seen, so many girls, they were not sent into school. So that organization make sure they're helping like thousands of girls to get good education. So this tickets that you're buying is not for my pocket, I'm not even taking a penny, and actually I'm adding to it every time to contribute to that organization. And by the way, if you don't know about this event, DM me on Instagram. It's a networking event in Windsor happening on February 10th. I will send you the link if you just say networking event or Windsor networking event. My assistant will send you the link where you can register. It's RSVP, of course. You have to register for it, and we will send you all the details where to come. It's somewhere between 7 to 10 p.m. You can enjoy some nice food, Indian food. If you like spicy, it will be spicy and mild too. And I also meet with other local investors, and of course I love to meet you guys. So it's a meet and greet. Rate of investment is going to be down. Rate of investment is going to be down. Just in, again, that depends on the market, right? Like, rate of investment depends on what you bought, what have you done to the property, have you done any force appreciation, and what happened to the market, and at what time you're calculating, right? Your exit strategy matters. If you're looking to buy today and you're selling tomorrow, and the tomorrow the market has gone down by 4%, probably your rate of investment would be down. But if you're referring to rate of investment that you're putting in um, year ago, now compared to the investment you have to put in is less, of course, because the prices were high a year ago and the prices are down now, so your investment into the property is low. And of course, this is where the exit strategies matters a lot. Wow, it's already 8:06. I didn't realize. The time just fly by when I talk to you guys, and you guys are always awesome. Ask me really great questions. So, asking for a friend, yes, ask the friend to contact with a mortgage broker, then they can get a better idea. Do you think the builder prices are coming down? New constructions, if you mean by like new construction homes, not really that much, because the cost to construct is high. So they're giving some incentives for buying pre-constructions. But again, I haven't seen that crazy down it. So this is the time where I would personally focus on resale than the pre-construction, because that one reason where the prices in resale has significantly dropped, whereas new construction haven't dropped that much. Is it the right time to buy investment property? Justin, this is what I was talking, right, like all before. um, it depends on your personal situation, where you're standing currently, how much money do you have, what's your current financial situation, what's your goal, what do you want to do. If you look at everything, and if you're financially stable, you have a decent job, you have decent savings, and you have a capacity to hold on for next 1 2 years, ride the wave, then definitely it's a great time to get in, you because this is the time where there is more inventory, less buyers, less competition, so you can negotiate the deals. And already the price has dropped by 30%, 32%. How far it's going to go more, how much it's going to go down, we don't know. So at least what is guaranteed, the drop. Now you're buying pretty much at a rate price of 2020 price. So that means we are already in a dip, the price already dipped. So if you start looking now, probably you'll buy in a month or two. So yeah, I'm trying to time the market. I will start to look for a deal in April and expect the home prices to start going up after October. We might have about 6 months window. Again, this is where you are standing, right? Like, if you, Robert, probably based on your comments, I'm assuming you're already an investor who have a good amount of properties. Probably, you are someone who can quickly act on someone. But if someone out there who is like a fresh investor who is just starting out, who don't know exactly what they're doing, probably once you start looking, once you understand the market, it will take you to get to a serious property 2 to 3 months. So, or if you're someone like, I have recently came across a couple where they haven't got married yet, and one person have 5% down, the other person have 5% down, and they genuinely want to move into this property, and they want to buy an investment property like a duplex or triplex. So they said, we want to buy another property for sure. So for them, if they want to buy all together at once, it's challenging. Rather, what they did, they bought one now, and they're waiting for other few more months until they stabilize this property. They'll get a good idea on the market. They'll get a good grasp on how to work with whom, and if the location is good or which locations, because now they moved into the location, they're in there. So now it's easy for them to make the second decision when the price drop another 10% or 5% or 10-12%, because now they know, oh, that was the market, I know this is easy to quit. So it really depends on your personal situation too. How much average property manager charge in Windsor? I would like to rent a property in Windsor. Average is like for my clients 7%, probably for outsiders maybe 10% or 9% or 8%, depends on. Please make a meetup in Calgary. I'm not in Calgary, buddy. If I come to Calgary next time, I'll do. The Uber driver who bought a house for 2 million put down 20%. Do you think the outcome will be? And 100 families are in the same situation. Outcome depends on how much savings they have. Can they afford to hold on to that property for next 2, 3, 4 years down the road? Because that's the main key. If you can afford to hold it for next 2, 3, 4 years, and if your intention is to just live in there, maybe house hack, be a little bit creative with holding on to the property. If your income has gone down, this is where if you don't have enough savings to hold on to that property, that's when your situation is pretty fucked up, right? But if you're in a good savings position, if you are a little creative, now you're jumped in, you made your basement, you rented out the basement, you even Airbnb 1 or 2 bedrooms which you don't need. So now you're generating income out of it, which can help you to supplement your interest rate payments. Then you're fine, because the loss happens only when you sell, only when you exit. That's when the loss happens. Awesome, guys. I think it's already like 8:11. Would love to jump on more questions. Would love to see you guys on the next live, same time. And also let me know in the comments what's your 2023 goals. These are what I have to do. Personally, I want to get in at least a couple of investments this year. Multifamily. If you know anyone who is looking to sell their multifamilies, you know whom to contact. And of course, I would love to. Even if you're a realtor, you have a deal. I don't want any commission. I want a good deal. So, or if you're a random one who has a really good investment property, who wants to sell, who wants to just come save the commission, give me a shout. Or if you're someone who is looking to get into investments, you don't know if it's the right time or anything, you want to jump on a call with us, with me or my agents, more than happy to help you guys. DM on Instagram. It's my name is same thing that you see on the screen, Aditya Kumar Soma. You will find it on Instagram. Make sure to follow. And if you love this, enjoyed this live, make sure to hit the like button. Like someone said, if you hit the like button, I'll show up. So with that, have a wonderful evening, guys. Looking forward to see you guys in the next live. And if you're someone want to learn about Windsor market, join us on the February networking event, the February 10th. In DM me. I'll try to put a comment in the chat or in the description. I'll leave the link. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful evening. It's time for me to take off.